Good evening, everyone. Let me start by saying that life is not just about finding a job, it's about creating something that lasts. We often spend so much time looking for the perfect position, the right company, or the dream job, but in doing so, we forget the incredible power we have within ourselves to create, to lead, and to innovate. So what does it mean to be a job creator? It's not about taking the traditional route of climbing the corporate ladder or following someone else's script. It's about taking ownership of your own future and the courage to chart your own course. As you stand here today, think about your passions, your ideas, and the things you care most deeply about. Now imagine what it would look like if you created something that not only brought your own vision to life, but also gave others the opportunity to grow, to contribute, and to create alongside you. This is the power of job creation. But let me be clear, this is not an easy path. Being a job creator means embracing vulnerability. It means stepping into the unknown and not knowing where the next step will lead, but trusting that your ideas and your passion are worth the risk. It's a path paved with setbacks, doubts, and challenges, but also filled with opportunities, innovation, and growth. The process of creating a job, a business, or an idea doesn't happen in isolation. It's built through relationships, learning from failure, and opening yourself to the possibility of something bigger than you ever imagined. The most meaningful businesses aren't just about selling a product or service, they're about solving problems, connecting people, and offering something that matters. And by creating something that matters, you give others the chance to be a part of it. But it's not just about you. When you create a job, you are opening the door for someone else to thrive. You are offering them the opportunity to step into a role that will challenge them, grow them, and allow them to contribute their own strengths to the world. You are empowering others to own their own journeys, just as you've taken ownership of yours. To create a job requires resilience. It means being willing to face setbacks, to fall down, and to get back up again. It means recognizing that failure is not the end, but rather a lesson and opportunity to adjust and improve. When we choose to create rather than seek, we are signing up for the kind of growth that doesn't happen in comfort zones. It requires hard work, persistence, and the willingness to embrace uncertainty. Ownership of your path. When we talk about owning our path, we're not just referring to the career you choose or the job you take. It's about recognizing that at every moment you hold the power to decide how you show up in this world. It's about understanding that your choices, your actions, and your decisions define the direction your life takes, no one else's. Owning your path means letting go of the idea that success or fulfillment is something that happens to you. It's not something that's handed over by a job offer or a promotion. It's something you actively create moment by moment through the choices you make. This doesn't mean that you don't face challenges or that you're immune to the forces that can sometimes feel beyond your control. But it does mean that you approach these challenges with an understanding that you have a hand in shaping how you respond, how you grow, and how you move forward. So often we find ourselves looking to external forces to tell us who we are or what we're capable of, waiting for validation or approval or some kind of external marker of success. But when you own your path, you stop seeking external validation as the measure of your worth. You start measuring your progress by how aligned your choices are with your values, your purpose, and your personal truth. This requires a deep sense of self-awareness. It means learning to trust yourself, to believe in your own instincts and abilities, even when things get uncertain or difficult. It's about confronting your fears and doubts, not allowing them to hold you back, but using them as fuel to propel you forward. You begin to understand that the only approval you need is your own, and that the path you're walking is yours to define, not based on society's standards or someone else's expectations. Owning your path also means being willing to let go of the need for perfection. It's about recognizing that mistakes, setbacks, and failures are not signs of weakness or failure, they're part of the journey. They are opportunities for growth, for learning, and for discovering new ways of moving forward. You stop letting fear of failure paralyze you, and instead you use it to push yourself into new territory, to try things you never thought possible, and to make choices that are truly aligned with who you are becoming, rather than who you think you're supposed to be. At its core, ownership of your path is about freedom, the freedom to choose how you show up, the freedom to be imperfect, and the freedom to believe that your journey is uniquely yours. It's about understanding that you are the one who holds the pen to your story, and that no one else can write it for you. It's messy, and it's beautiful, and it's the only way to live a life that is truly yours. Vulnerability and innovation. Vulnerability and innovation are deeply connected, even though the idea of being vulnerable can feel uncomfortable or even risky, especially when we're conditioned to believe that strength means having all the answers, knowing exactly what comes next, and presenting an image of perfection. But here's the truth: vulnerability is not a weakness. In fact, it's a powerful catalyst for growth, creativity, and innovation. Without vulnerability, we can never step outside of what we already know, and we'll never reach the edges of our potential. When we're vulnerable, we open ourselves up to the possibility of failure, of not having everything figured out. We allow ourselves to be seeing flaws, uncertainties, and all. And it's in that openness, that willingness to expose our true selves, that the most authentic and revolutionary ideas are born. Innovation isn't about always having the perfect plan. It's about being willing to try, to experiment, and to be okay with the idea that we might not succeed the first time, or the second, or even the third. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable in our creative processes, we embrace the unknown. We move away from the safety of what we already know and open ourselves to the possibilities of what might be. Vulnerability means saying, I don't have all the answers yet, but I'm willing to explore, to ask questions, to fail, and to learn along the way. This is where true innovation happens, not in the comfortable spaces where we can predict every outcome, but in the messy, unpredictable spaces where ideas collide, evolve, and grow into something new. Innovation requires courage, the courage to stand in the face of uncertainty, and to push past the fear of being judged or ridiculed. It requires the bravery to put your ideas out into the world, even when they're not fully formed, to present them with honesty and authenticity, knowing that others may not immediately understand or accept them. This is vulnerability in its most powerful form, not hiding behind the shield of perfection, but choosing to show up as you are and trusting that your ideas are worth pursuing, even if they aren't yet fully polished. But vulnerability doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It thrives in environments where we are able to collaborate, to exchange ideas, and to learn from one another. It's in these spaces where trust is built, where feedback is welcomed, and where mistakes are seen as part of the process that innovation can truly flourish. When we create safe spaces for vulnerability, we invite others to bring their ideas forward, to contribute, and to innovate alongside us. This is how we move from isolated ideas to collective breakthroughs. It's about creating a culture where vulnerability is not only accepted, but celebrated as a necessary part of the innovation process. So vulnerability and innovation go hand in hand. Vulnerability opens the door to new possibilities, while innovation is the result of walking through that door with open arms. It's the willingness to embrace the discomfort of not knowing, of putting your ideas out there, and of failing and growing in the process. It's the courage to be real with yourself and with others, knowing that the journey of innovation is rarely smooth. But it is always worth it. In the end, innovation isn't just about creating something new, it's about being brave enough to step into the unknown, to learn from the process, and to grow in ways we never imagined. Self-belief and confidence. Self-belief and confidence are not the same thing, although they often go hand in hand. Self-belief is the quiet inner knowing that you are worthy, capable, and enough just as you are. Confidence, on the other hand, is the outward expression of that belief. It's the way you show up in the world when you've learned to trust in yourself and your abilities, even when the world around you feels uncertain. Building self-belief is not about acquiring perfection, nor is it about being fearless. It's about accepting who you are, flaws and all, and still choosing to show up with courage, knowing that your journey will have its ups and downs, but your worth remains constant. When we cultivate self-belief, we are essentially saying, I trust that I can handle whatever comes my way, even if I don't know exactly what that looks like right now. This kind of belief isn't built overnight, it's forged over time, through experiences, through small acts of courage, and through moments where we choose to step outside of our comfort zones. Self-belief is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger the more we exercise it. Each time we push through fear, each time we choose to be authentic, each time we decide to take a risk, we build that belief in ourselves. However, it's important to remember that self-belief doesn't mean we have all the answers, nor does it mean we won't face doubts along the way. Self-belief is about the ability to move forward, despite uncertainty. It's the willingness to take the next step, even when we don't know exactly where we're going, trusting that we have the resources within us to handle whatever comes our way. It's an understanding that we don't need to have it all figured out, but we are still capable of making things happen. Confidence, on the other hand, is the outward manifestation of that inner belief. Confidence isn't about being perfect or always knowing exactly what to do. It's about showing up with the knowledge that even when we don't have it all together, we are enough. Confidence is the way we present ourselves to the world, the way we own our voice, and the way we trust our instincts, even in moments of doubt. It's the act of stepping into our lives fully, showing up in our truth, and trusting that we are deserving of success, joy, and connection. Confidence is about taking ownership of our journey and the decisions we make, even if they're not always popular or easy. But building both self-belief and confidence requires vulnerability. It requires being open to failure, to criticism, and to the possibility that not everything will go as planned. It's in those moments when we experience setbacks or face difficult feedback that we have the opportunity to choose how we respond. Will we shrink away, allowing doubt to overshadow our worth? Or will we lean into those experiences knowing that they don't define us, but instead refine us? The most powerful version of self-belief is the one that acknowledges imperfection, embraces vulnerability, and continues to move forward regardless. At the heart of self-belief and confidence is the understanding that our worth is not defined by what we accomplish or how others perceive us. It's defined by the love and acceptance we have for ourselves, no matter where we are in our journey. Confidence is not about always having the right answers or being perfect. It's about knowing that we are enough, that we have the capacity to grow, to learn, and to navigate the challenges that life throws our way. It's the deep-rooted belief that we can face whatever comes our way and emerge stronger on the other side. To truly cultivate self-belief and confidence, we need to be willing to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty, to take risks, and to step into the unknown without the promise of immediate success. It requires embracing our imperfections and finding strength in our vulnerability. When we do this, we begin to show up in the world with authenticity and power, trusting that we are enough just as we are, and knowing that everything we need to succeed is already within us. Empowering others. Empowering others is not just about offering help or giving advice, it's about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to step into their own potential, to take risks, and to find their own path. It's about recognizing the inherent worth in every individual and providing them with the support, encouragement, and tools they need to realize that potential. True empowerment comes from fostering a sense of belonging where people are encouraged to be their authentic selves and are given the space to grow. It's about understanding that empowering someone else doesn't diminish our own power, it amplifies it. When we empower others, we elevate the collective, creating a ripple effect that moves beyond ourselves and creates lasting change in the world around us. Empowering others requires vulnerability on both sides. To empower someone, you need to trust them to believe that they are capable of more than they may even believe about themselves. This trust creates a foundation that allows them to take chances, to step outside their comfort zones, and to make decisions that may not have been possible without that support. It means acknowledging that sometimes empowering others isn't about doing things for them, but instead about providing the space for them to learn, grow, and stumble on their own. It's the act of stepping back and allowing them to take ownership of their own journey while still being there as a guide when they need it. Empowerment isn't about controlling the outcome, it's about creating the conditions where others can thrive on their own terms. When we empower others, we also give them permission to be imperfect. We create environments where failure is not seen as a reflection of their worth, but as a part of the learning process. This allows them to explore without the fear of judgment or rejection. Empowerment is about being a source of encouragement when the road gets tough, but also about being a voice of reason when it's necessary to pull back and reevaluate. It's about providing honest feedback with kindness, challenging others to reach higher while reminding them that their value is not contingent on their success or failure. True empowerment is rooted in unconditional support and the belief that everyone is capable of greatness, even in moments of struggle. Moreover, empowering others requires an openness to seeing them as equals. It's about acknowledging that we all bring something valuable to the table, that each person's voice, perspective, and experience matters. To truly empower someone, we need to listen deeply without judgment or preconceived notions and give them the space to share their thoughts, ideas, and dreams. We need to be humble enough to realize that we don't have all the answers and that sometimes the best way to empower someone is to simply be present and open to what they have to offer. Empowerment isn't about being a leader who gives direction, it's about being a guide who encourages others to find their own voice, to trust their instincts, and to step into their own authority. At its core, empowerment is about building confidence in others. It's about showing people that they have the strength and resilience to overcome challenges, to navigate uncertainty, and to continue moving forward. When we empower others, we remind them of their own worth and potential, and we give them the courage to believe in themselves. But empowerment isn't just about words, it's about actions. It's about leading by example, showing through our own behavior what it means to stand tall, to take risks, and to stay true to our values. When we walk in our own power, we inspire others to do the same. And in turn, this creates a culture of empowerment where everyone feels capable, supported, and encouraged to reach for the next level of their potential. Empowering others also means creating opportunities for them to rise. It's about mentoring, providing resources, and offering guidance, but also about stepping aside when necessary so that they can take the lead. Empowerment isn't about holding someone's hand through every step of the journey. It's about giving them the tools and confidence to walk that path on their own. It's about stepping back and letting them shine, knowing that their success is also our success. Empowering others is the act of planting seeds, nurturing growth, and then allowing those seeds to blossom into something beautiful on their own. When we truly empower others, we understand that we are all interconnected. Our success is not measured by how high we climb, but by how many people we bring along with us. The most fulfilling and meaningful lives are those that leave a legacy of empowerment, where the focus is not on individual achievement, but on collective growth and shared success. Empowering others isn't a one-time act, it's a lifelong commitment to showing up, to believing in others, and to offering them the support and encouragement they need to live up to their fullest potential. When we make empowerment a cornerstone of our lives, we help create a world where everyone can thrive, where we are all lifted up by each other's strength and where the possibilities are endless. Resilience in the face of challenges. Resilience is not about bouncing back from adversity as if we return to a place of comfort or normalcy once the storm has passed. It's about learning to grow through difficulty, adapting in ways that stretch us, and emerging from our struggles more deeply connected to who we are. It's the quiet strength that whispers, "You can do this when the world feels heavy and uncertain." Resilience is about embracing the hard moments not as obstacles to avoid, but as opportunities to develop the tools and mindset that will carry us forward. The reality is challenges will come, they always do. Life will not always go as planned, and we will face times of loss, disappointment, or failure. But resilience is what allows us to move through these times with integrity, courage, and hope. When we face challenges, it can feel as though everything we've worked for is suddenly upended, and the ground beneath us is no longer steady. We often expect ourselves to have all the answers, to find a way to fix things immediately, or to have a clear path through the chaos. But resilience isn't about having all the answers right away. It's about staying grounded in the face of uncertainty, trusting that we have the capacity to move through the struggle, even when we don't know exactly what the outcome will look like. Resilience is about finding the strength to face the unknown, to sit with the discomfort of not having control, and to keep going even when the way forward is unclear. It's the courage to stay engaged with life even when it feels like everything is falling apart. And it's in that engagement, in continuing to show up, that we begin to rebuild not just our circumstances, but ourselves. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is that it's not about avoiding pain or difficulty. In fact, it's about embracing the full spectrum of human emotion, even the painful, uncomfortable parts. Resilience requires us to be vulnerable to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, that we are struggling, and that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's about sitting with discomfort and letting ourselves feel the depth of what we're going through without trying to rush past it. Only when we allow ourselves to truly experience our pain can we begin to heal and find the strength to move forward. Resilience is the ability to embrace those moments of vulnerability without letting them define us. It's knowing that even in our lowest points, we are still worthy, still valuable, and still capable of rising again. Resilience also requires a deep sense of self-awareness and self-compassion. It's about understanding that setbacks and failures do not diminish our worth. They are part of the human experience, part of the process of growth. When we face challenges, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-blame, to think that we're not good enough or that we somehow deserve to be in pain. But resilience asks us to show up with kindness toward ourselves, to recognize that we are doing the best we can in the face of difficult circumstances. It's about treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a friend who is struggling, rather than criticizing or judging ourselves for being human. Resilience is rooted in the understanding that we are enough, even in our brokenness, and that we have everything we need to heal, grow, and ultimately move forward. Another critical element of resilience is the ability to reframe our challenges. Resilience doesn't mean that we deny the pain or difficulty of a situation. It means that we are willing to view those challenges through a different lens, one that allows for growth and transformation. Instead of seeing a setback as a failure, we begin to ask, what can I learn from this? How can this experience teach me something new about myself or about the world? Resilience is about choosing to look for the lessons in the struggle, rather than focusing solely on the hardship. It's the belief that every challenge has the potential to shape us in ways we never imagined, that there is growth to be found even in the darkest of times. When we reframe our difficulties as opportunities to evolve, we begin to tap into a well of strength and wisdom that we didn't know we had. One of the most important aspects of resilience is community. While resilience is often seen as an individual trait, it is deeply supported by the relationships we build with others. Resilience doesn't mean doing it alone. It means knowing when to lean on others for support, for encouragement, and for perspective. In the face of challenges, we can find strength in the connections we have with those who believe in us, who understand our pain, and who walk alongside us in our journey. Resilience is about allowing others to help us when we need it and not feeling shame or weakness in asking for support. It's the courage to be seen in our vulnerability, to reach out when we are struggling, and to accept help without guilt. No one is meant to face life's challenges alone. And it's through our relationships that we often find the resilience to keep going. Ultimately, resilience is not a destination, it's a way of being. It's not about reaching a place where we no longer struggle, but about learning how to live with challenges in a way that fosters growth, compassion, and understanding. It's about developing the ability to continue to rise and to thrive even when life doesn't go as planned. Resilience is the quiet determination to keep moving forward, even in the face of uncertainty, pain, and fear. It's knowing that we are stronger than we think, that our capacity to grow and heal is greater than we can often imagine. And it's understanding that no matter how many times we fall, we can always rise again. The journey toward becoming a job creator, embracing vulnerability, and fostering resilience in the face of challenges is not an easy one, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires self-belief, an unwavering commitment to growth, and the courage to step into uncertainty. When we empower others and ourselves to embrace these principles, we create a ripple effect that transforms not only our lives, but also the world around us. The path to success is not linear, and it is often paved with failure and setbacks, but it is through these experiences that we learn, grow, and ultimately build something greater. By owning our path, fostering innovation, and cultivating resilience, we can show up as leaders in our own lives, creating meaningful change, inspiring others, and leaving a legacy of strength, compassion, and possibility. This journey is ours to create, and the potential is limitless.